Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Trinisphere, where Timmy, Johnny, and Spike battle over all things EDH. I'm Hog the Spike, and today we're doing a deep dive through Magic's history, piloting Greven, Predator Captain, one of the primary antagonists in the Witherlight saga. Commander 2019 brought us this absolute beast of a commander, and additionally brought us a new iteration of Gerard Capuchin, one that's actually good. That if you'd like to hear more about, you can follow the link in the description down below for Shannon's deck tech. We're going to run through a quick deck tech today, leading up to a gameplay where we play these same commanders, but fresh out of the box with no changes. We'll let it come down to player skill to determine who wins. Before we jump in, remember to like this video to see more like it, and subscribe to watch all of our upcoming gameplays and deck techs. Hit that bell icon to receive a notification whenever we drop a new video. Alright guys, let's jump in. Our commander today is Greven, Predator Captain. He is 3 black-red for a 5/5 legendary creature, human warrior with menace. He says Greven Predator Captain gets +X/+0, where X is the amount of life you've lost this turn. Whenever Greven attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, you draw cards equal to that creature's power, and you lose life equal to that creature's toughness. So today we're going to focus on getting kills with commander damage, paying life, and sacking creatures with high power and low toughness to maximize Greven's abilities. We're going to jump into our categories today, starting off with ramp. It's very important that we get Greven down as early as possible so we can start crunching into people and eliminate our opponents as quickly as possible. So we've got pretty regular Rakdos ramp. We've got your Charcoal Diamond and your Fire Diamond, Iron Mirror, Leaden Mirror, Burnished Heart, and then we also have some lands. Cabal Coffers is a good one. You're almost always going to be playing Cabal Coffers. I really like Generator Servant here. It gives Greven haste if we use Generator Servant's mana to cast him. Another good couple mana rocks here. We've got Mana Crypt and Mana Vault. You would normally just think these are shoo-ins in any deck I play because I do have that rock addiction. But these are actually very good with Greven because Mana Vault, if you play it on turn 1, turn 2 you can play Greven, and when it's tapped, it's always going to deal 1 damage to you in your upkeep. So it's going to immediately make Greven a 6/5 whenever you attack if you don't have anything else to pay life with. Mana Crypt as well, if you lose your flip, will deal 3 damage to you, making Greven an 8/5. So both of these are very strong in this list. We've got Mind Stone, Palladium Mirror, Rakdos Signet, Soul Ring, and Talisman of Indulgence. Also another one that incidentally pings us for damage whenever we use it, which is great for Greven Predator Captain. Removal. A Rakdos deck wouldn't be a Rakdos deck unless it was chock full of good removal spells. Chandra's Ignition is a great one for this deck. It's a board wipe that says target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each other creature and each opponent. So this can just win us the game. If we've spent the whole turn pumping Greven by paying life, once we cast Chandra's Ignition, Greven will deal his power to each other opponent, which could result in us winning the game. We've got Devour in Shadow, Dreadbore, Fire Covenant, another pseudo board wipe here where we can kill as many creatures as we can pay life. Fire Covenant deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures, and all we have to do is pay 1 black and red and as much life as we want. We've got Font of Agonies, a card that rewards us for paying life. You put blood counters on it for each life you pay, and then you can remove the blood counters and pay mana to destroy a creature. This card is very good in this list. Phyrexian Purge is another pseudo board wipe, just like Fire Covenant. 2 black and a red for a sorcery that says pay 3 life per target, destroy any number of target creatures. Now this is great with Greven. Because he's got Menace, you really only need to kill one of your opponent's 2 creatures to be able to get a hit in. And at the same time, you can kill a bunch of creatures and make Greven big enough to get in with a commander kill. We've got Snuff Out, just a really solid gotcha spell, you know? When you're tapped out and your opponents think you're out of gas, you can pay 4 life instead of paying Snuff Out's mana cost to destroy a non-black creature, and then it also can't be regenerated. We've got Toxic Deluge, very good board wipe. Again, just additional cost, we're going to pay life, which at its core is what this deck wants to do. Vendetta, and Vraska's Contempt. Vraska's Contempt, we're actually gaining life, which is good because we are going to be going quite low as most of our spells and abilities cause us to lose life. So we want to have some mitigation there. We want to be able to not die when we're going crazy with this life loss. Jumping over into draw, we've got Dark Confidant. Now, this card sums up this deck excellently with its flavor text. Greatness at any cost. Now, if you've looked at the list, we're playing 7 drops, 8 drops. If we have Dark Confidant in play and we flip Villas Broker of Blood and we lose 8 life, we don't care because we're going to be able to smack someone for 13 commander damage. This card is a little pricey, of course, but very good in this deck. Faithless Looting, Necropotence, Night's Whisper, Psychotic Fury. Now this one probably shouldn't just belong in the draw category. It does of course say draw a card, but very good. Target multicolored creature gains double strike until end of turn. So this could just win us the game as well. Psychotic Fury before damage on Greven Predator Captain, and all of a sudden we've killed a player. We've got Read the Bones, Skeletal Scrying, and Villa's Broker of Blood. Like we talked about before with Dark Confidant, very good. One of my favorite cards from M20. He has 5 black for an 8/8 legendary creature demon with flying. You can pay a black and 2 life. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. But his golden text, the text that makes him fantastic. Whenever you lose life, you draw that many cards. So because this deck is all about paying life, having a Villas in play is going to be insane. We're going to be able to draw almost our entire deck. We've got some win con cards here. When we're casting these cards, they're almost always going to win us the game. We've got Fling, classic. This is going to let us pump up Greven to commander damage lethal, hit one player, and then fling him at another player to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. We've got Hatred, who incidentally has Greven's face on the card. It is a 5-mana instant that says pay X life, target creature gets +X/+0 until end of turn. So this is some overkill, let me tell you, because we're paying X life to give Greven +X/+0, and then he also gets +X/+0 on top of that. We've got Repay in Kind, which is really gonna aggravate some people. It's 5 black for a sorcery that says each player's life total becomes the lowest life total among all players. So if we've spent the whole game bringing our life total, sub 10 even, we're going to even the playing field and bring everybody to our level, and then it's an easy contest with Greven. We've got Seize the Day. This just lets us have additional combat phases with Greven. Soul Conduit, albeit a little janky, lets us swap 2 target players' life totals. We go super low on life total, and our opponent's still at 40. Swap life totals, we're back at 40, and then we can just crunch them with our Greven because he already has that +X/+0 because we did already lose that life this turn. Stalking Vengeance is a good creature. Whenever a creature we control dies, it deals damage equal to its power to target player. So this again, we're going to, with Greven's first ability, be doing a lot of sacrificing of creatures, and this is going to ping our opponents, get a lot of damage in. And then finally, Temur Battle Rage, much like Psychotic Fury, is going to give our commander double strike, and then it has a ferocious trigger. That creature also gains trample if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, which is Greven. He's always going to be power 4 or greater. So double strike and trample to our commander for just 2 mana is fantastic. So moving into the primary focus of the deck, we've got our power draw, right? We want to be drawing cards based on the power of creatures and then losing life equal to their toughness. So we have enough effects in the deck that lose us life. We're not really looking to sacrifice creatures with high toughness. I think in this deck are going to be focused more on the card draw than the life loss when sacrificing creatures, but we have spells and abilities that are going to lose us life, so we don't have to worry about that part. So some of the creatures we are going to be sacking are Ball Lightning and its cousin Lightning Skelemental. Both are 6/1s for 3, so those are going to net us 6 cards. We've also got Rite of the Raging Storm, a 5-mana enchantment that says creatures named Lightning Rager can't attack you or planeswalkers you control. And at the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player creates a 5/1 red elemental creature token named Lightning Rager. It has trample, haste, and at the beginning of the end step, sacrifice this creature. So you're going to cause chaos in your pod. You know, people are going to get 5/1s, they're going to have to attack each other. And every turn you're going to get a 5/1, be able to sack it to Greven, give him +1/+0, and draw 5 cards. Banana's good. We've also got Rotting Regisaur, a 3-mana 7/6. Talk about power creep with the small downside of at the beginning of your upkeep you discard a card, which, you know, when you're sacking this and giving Greven +6 and drawing 7 cards, you're not really worried. But this card's good in this deck. And then 2 cards that if we sacrifice, we don't care. They come back. We can recur them every turn effectively. We've got Bloodghast and we've got Squee the Immortal. Now, Bloodghast I love running in decks like this. 2 black for a 2/1 Vampire Spirit. He can't block, but that's not relevant because again we're using him as sacrifice fodder, and it has landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield, so you return Bloodghast from your graveyard to the battlefield. So because we're playing Bloodghast, we're playing all of the fetches we can play. Now these all bring back Bloodghast. You know, we're going to get the landfall for playing them, and then we can crack them and get landfall again. But they're also really good because we have to pay a life to sacrifice them. So again, just another good synergy with Greven Predator Captain. Our next category, Loss of Life. These are some of our powerhouse ones that are going to do the most efficient job of losing us life to give Greven the highest buff. So we've got Direfleet Ravager, a 4/4 Orc Pirate Wizard. Man, those creature types are crazy these days. He's got Menace and Death Touch, and when he enters the battlefield, each player loses a third of his or her life total rounded up. So this is very much like a Repay in Kind from earlier. It's going to affect everybody. We're going to bring everybody low. We're going to get a huge buff on Greven, and he's he's just really good. You know, he's a 4/4, he's got Menace, he's got Death Touch. Just Greven's not in play, we can squeeze damage through with this guy. Doom Whisperer, fantastic. What is definitely of note here, pay 2 life and Surveil 2. This card is very good. We can pay as much life as we want into this guy. Give Greven as big of a buff as we want. But again, he's good stats. He's a 5-mana 6/6 flying trample. We've got Heartless Hidetsugu, Bane of Casual Pods around the world. He is a 5-mana 4/3 with tap. Heartless Hidetsugu deals damage to each player equal to half that player's life total rounded down. So this is a big chunk of change in life loss. Molt Steel Dragon, another card where we can pay as much life into it as we want. Plunge into Darkness. Now, this one fills 2 roles for our deck. If we do have a bunch of creatures, we can sacrifice them and gain 3 life per creature sacrificed, which is going to make up some of the life we've lost. So this could definitely fit into our life gain category. But it also has, look at the top X cards of your library, put one of those cards into your hand and remove the rest from the game, and then you pay X life to do so. And you can entwine it if you'd like to. Both abilities are good. This card's very solid. And finally, in this category, we've got Treasonous Ogre. Just another good, I would like to pay as much life as I can. He rituals, he pumps your commander, he's great. Talking about lifelink and life gain, we don't want to die when we're going crazy on this life loss plan. But, you know, we've got a couple of things here. So we've got Blessing of Belzenlock, will give Greven +2/+1 and lifelink. We've got Loxodon Warhammer, gives Greven +3/+0, trample and lifelink. Rush of Vitality gives Greven +1/+0 and lifelink and indestructible. And then Whip of Erebos gives all of our creatures lifelink, which is great with Stalking Vengeance, for instance, where it itself is dealing damage to our opponents whenever creatures die, or Heartless Hidetsugu, for instance. So Whip of Erebos is very good in this deck, and stapled onto the bottom, and we don't even need the second part, we just want the lifelink, but we can also return a creature from our graveyard, play with haste if we're in desperation mode. And also just a little piece of removal, Nauseous Gearhulk just kills a creature and gains us life equal to that creature's toughness. So these are some cards, you know, we didn't want to go deep on a lifelink category, life gain category, but these are just some good ones that are going to help keep us in the game. Obviously, we're doing a Voltron build here, or pseudo Voltron, where we're just trying to get commander damage kills. So we want to make sure that once Greven hits the battlefield, he can attack as soon as possible. So we've got a couple cards here that are just going to give Greven some haste. We've got Bloodsworn Steward, 2 red for a 4/4 Vampire Knight with flying. Commander creatures you control get +2/+2 and haste. So this turns Greven into a 3-turn clock. We've got Hall of the Bandit Lord, our only free haste enabler. Pay 3 life, add 1 to your mana pool. If that mana is spent on a creature spell, that creature gains haste. As long as all of the Bandit Lord is in play, anytime we cast Greven, he'll come down with haste. And then of course, we've got Lightning Greaves and Swiftfoot Boots. Now, Greven's second ability doesn't necessarily have to sacrifice a creature that you own in your deck. You could steal your opponent's creatures, sacrifice them to him, and then maybe that was their only creature, or maybe that was one of 2 creatures. You sacrifice it to Greven's ability, and then you can smash in because of his menace. So we've got a couple steal, you know, active treason effects here. Active Aggression, which is a great one, because we only have to pay 3 mana for it. The Phyrexian Red can be paid with 4 life, giving Greven a buff, and then we can steal their creature, sacrifice it, give them another buff, or just hit them with their own creature, because that's, like, fantastic, right? We've also got Zealous Conscripts and Captivating Crew, which is just 3 in a red, steal a creature. And finally, we have some Recursion here. Both lose us life, as you remember what we're trying to do. We've got Command the Dreadhorde, 4 black. Choose any number of target creature and or planeswalker cards in graveyards. Command the Dreadhorde deals damage to you equal to the total converted mana cost of those cards. Put them onto the battlefield under your control. So this one's great. Your opponents are doing janky graveyard things or something. They have a combo. You can steal it, or you can just win the game. You just take all the good creatures and hit your opponents with them. And reanimate 1 black sorcery. Put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. You lose life equals converted mana cost. So this is just another good one. You take the best creature, or, you know, you turn 1 Faithless Looting, you dump your Villas into the graveyard, and then, you know, reanimating Villas on turn 2 is very good. Well, that's a wrap on this one, folks. I hope you enjoyed this deck tech. And remember, if you're a Spike like me, if you're not first, you're last.